Menopause. It kind of has a weird, even the sound of it is not great for me. When people started to mention the word menopause to me, I felt icky. And really, when I dug deep, I felt like I was ashamed. And I understand now that a big part of this comes from our total misconception that menopause, which is actually midlife, is a time when we get old and therefore become sort of redundant. Unfortunately, because as women, we've been told that our worth lies in our youth and our capacity to reproduce, which is a beautiful, amazing thing that we have. But the media basically has told us that that's where our worth lies. And so when we get to menopause, we feel like we're losing everything that we're worth. And even those of us with a lot of depth and who haven't necessarily bought into this whole, old school patriarchal ideal, we are also affected by it because it's around us everywhere that we look. And I could go into the medical terminology and the medical and new scientific research that shows us. It's funny because one of the menopause symptoms or perimenopause symptoms too is brain fog, and you forget things. Anyway, this new research is showing how it's a change in the brain. It's phenomenal. Dr. Lisa Mosconi is the person to listen to, but you can go and listen to her to hear all about that, and how the brain fog and all that stuff is happening because there is literally a renovation in the brain. Literally, that's what's happening. So we're becoming a new person. But what I want to talk about is how we can embrace this time and the way that it used to be. So in transpersonal psychology, we look at ancient civilizations and ancient cultures. And if you look at your own culture and its past, you probably don't need to dig that deep. There was a time when this time of life was honored, and we need to do that again. We need to bring that back. It's become a lot more widely accepted that your first menstruation is a rite of passage, a time of entering into womanhood. We now accept that birthing and becoming a mother is another rite of passage where we become a new person. We become a mother, no longer the maiden, no longer a young girl. Well, menopause or midlife, which I much prefer as a terminology, although menopause is a great word, the pause part, because it is a time to pause. Because this midlife time is another rite of passage, and it can take up to 10 years, not in the depth of the pain of it all, but the process itself can take up to 10 years because there's a full renovation that's happening hormonally, but also neurologically. And yes, there are parts of our brain that actually literally stop working like they used to. And a big part of our struggle at this time is because we're trying to hold on to who we used to be, feeling like there's nothing at the other end. But there is something at the other end. And these ancient cultures and more traditional cultures still today recognize this, that a woman whose brain has changed into her wisdom years, has more access to intuition, is less affected by external influences. There's less tolerance for bad behavior. That means this is a time when a woman really gets in touch with this incredible power and inner strength, and she becomes a real asset to your community if you recognize that a woman in her midlife, and particularly past her midlife or postmenopausal, has a wealth of wisdom and compassion and groundedness and strong boundaries. She's a woman that can nurture and love you, and that she's giving you from her heart because she knows when it's enough. She stops when she's got no more to give. She's able to give you the truth of a situation without pandering to her own filter of wanting you to like her. There's so many things. And intuition, so much deep healing. And I know for me, as a counselor and as a coach and as a facilitator, this time in my life, my capacity with my clients has just gone through the roof because of the gift of this midlife. Now, I'm only perimenopausal, so I haven't even gotten to the big kahunas yet. But what's really important too, I don't want to make this too long, but there's so much I want to say. If you are perimenopausal, or menopausal at the beginning of your menopause, your brain is literally changing. You are changing. You are becoming the wise woman that you're supposed to be. This is such a spectacularly beautiful time of life. You need time and space to allow these changes to occur. Feeling all these strange things that happen, they're normal, it's okay. And there's wisdom, there's healing, there's growth in that. And it needs time and space. Now is not a time to be taking on extra things. Now is not a time to be giving to extra people. Now is a time to be creating flexibility in your life so that you can facilitate this process. And it is a rite of passage. It's so important. I have facilitated rites of passage for myself and for clients for 20 something years, and there is a place for a specific rite of passage, like really doing a ceremony. And I've found that to be incredibly powerful at this time, and through all the different rites of passage: birth, divorce, first menstrual cycle. And this is this is exactly the same. Doing a rite of passage ceremony at this time in life is so powerful. So I highly recommend that too. And learn how this is a powerful time, because it is. And I've been avoiding talking about it for a little while, probably because I've still been processing my own shame around it. And now I just can't hold back anymore. So I hope this has helped somebody. And if you're interested, go listen to Dr. Lisa Mosconi. I actually posted a link to one of her podcasts earlier.